How long had he been using the pills before you knew?
I don't know. Maybe years. He always said it was for the pain. The back injury from that scaffolding collapse. You know, the kind of pain that never fully goes away. But it was more than that. Much more.
What made you start questioning him?
Noah. Our son. He was 5 then. One night, after Daniel hugged him goodnight, Noah whispered to me, "Why does Daddy smell sleepy even when he's awake?"
And you?
I froze. Just froze. That same week, Daniel told me he was going to a leadership seminar in San Diego. 2 months. Said it was exclusive and could mean a promotion. He was so convincing. Even printed out a fake schedule. I showed it to Margaret, my mother-in-law, and she nodded like she already knew.
Did she?
She did. I found out weeks later she was the one who drove him to the rehab center. Not San Diego. Just outside Round Rock. 30 minutes from our house.
That must have felt
like betrayal wrapped in concern. Like I was the outsider in my own marriage.
Let's go back. The day he left. What do you remember?
It was a Sunday morning. Cool breeze. The kind that makes you believe things are fresh again. He kissed Noah, kissed me, and said, "Be strong while I'm gone, okay?" I thought he meant work stress. I packed him sandwiches for the flight he never took.
You believed him.
I was raised to believe family meant loyalty. Turns out, it meant silence. I held it all together. Took Noah to school. Made dinner for Margaret and Roger, my father-in-law, every damn night. Cleaned, paid bills, even fixed a leak in the sink. Margaret would just smile and say, "You're doing so well, dear. Daniel will be proud." She knew. She knew where he was.
Did you confront her?
Not then. Not when I found the rehab bill in her drawer. Not when I called the number and they confirmed his check-in date. Not even when I saw his name on a recovery group list online.
What stopped you?
Hope. That this time, it would be different. That maybe I was wrong. That confronting them would make it worse.
Worse than being lied to.
Yes.
When did it change? When did silence stop working?
Noah fell off the jungle gym at school. I was at work. My phone rang non-stop. I picked up on the third call, Margaret. She was panicked. Said Daniel's phone went straight to voicemail and she didn't know what to do. Her car was in the shop.
And you?
I rushed to the school. Drove straight through Bee Cave traffic like a madwoman. Picked up Noah, his arm hanging weird, and got to Dell Children's ER. Hours later, while filling out paperwork, Margaret walked in. Calm. Hair perfect. She looked at me and said, "You know, Daniel would have been here if you hadn't made him feel so watched all the time."
She blamed you.
Like always. I smiled. I nodded. But inside, I was breaking apart. That night, I stayed up after everyone slept. Sitting on the porch, just me and the sound of crickets. I looked through Daniel's drawer. Found a notebook. Rehab notes. Letters he wrote but never sent. One was to me.
Do you remember it?
It said, "Sarah, I'm sorry for making you carry the weight I couldn't name. I hope one day, I can be enough for you and Noah." I wanted to cry. But I didn't. Because even in his apology, it was still about him.
What about you?
I was invisible. He hugged our son, and he smelled like medicine. Not mint. Not clean. Just chemicals. I knew right then, he wasn't sober. Not even close.
Where were you in all this?
3 weeks later. He brought home flowers. Sat through family dinners like a man reborn. Margaret said I should be proud. She actually said, you see, all he needed was time.
That was after he came back from rehab.
I tried to. God, I wanted to. But then there were signs.
And you believed him.
He stopped making eye contact. Started working late again. Came home with that glazed look. He said it was fatigue. Then stress. Then migraines. Always something.
What about Margaret?
She'd say things like, pain is pain, dear. Let him rest. Or, you know how your tone can be, Sarah. Like I was the problem. Like I was pushing him back to the pills.
Did you feel safe in that house?
Not emotionally. Not spiritually. And then, not physically.
What happened?
It was a Saturday. I had just gotten back from Whole Foods. Noah was at a friend's. Daniel was in the kitchen with Margaret. I heard her whisper. She's starting to suspect again. Then he said something about me always playing detective. I walked in. He stopped talking. Margaret smiled, like she hadn't just thrown a knife.
What did you say?
Nothing. I smiled back.
Then what?
He came out of the kitchen. I handed him a grocery bag. He hugged me. Hugged Noah, who had just come in through the garage. That's when I smelled it.
The pills?
Strong. Not hidden anymore. Like he didn't care.
What did Noah do?
He flinched. Later that night, I made mac and cheese, Noah's favorite. He just pushed it around the plate. Then asked, why is Daddy mad all the time? I didn't know how to answer.
So what did you do?
I waited till they were asleep. Then I opened my laptop. Searched for apartments. Quiet neighborhoods. Short leases.
That was the first time you thought of leaving.
No. But it was the first time I let myself admit it. 2 nights later. Daniel came home high. Again. Started yelling at Margaret. Something about her meddling. I was upstairs with Noah. Then I heard glass shatter.
What did you do?
I ran down. Margaret had this calm look. Like I was the problem. She said, you're making it worse by always hovering.
How did that make you feel?
Like a ghost. Like nothing I did mattered.
And Daniel?
Standing by the counter, gripping a broken tumbler. Hands shaking. Eyes red. I said, Daniel, Noah's upstairs. He can hear you. You know what he said?
What?
Then maybe he should hear what living with you does to a man. That was the moment. I walked away. Went upstairs. Packed one bag.
For you and Noah.
Just essentials. Pajamas. Toothbrush. His sketchbook. One photo.
Where did you go?
A motel off Barton Springs Road. I told Noah it was a sleepover adventure. He believed me.
Did anyone call you?
Carla. My best friend. I hadn't told her much, but that night I sent her a message. We left. She called me in seconds. Said, I've been waiting for this text for 2 years.
She saw it before you did.
I think a part of me always knew. But I was afraid. Of the silence. The shame. The unknown.
What changed?
Noah. When a child stops laughing, you know it's time.
Do you regret it?
Leaving? Never. Waiting that long? Every day. I still remember Margaret's face at the last dinner. She passed me the salad and said, family is sacrifice, Sarah. I looked her in the eye and thought, yes. And I've sacrificed enough.
Tell me about the night you went back.
It wasn't dramatic. No storm. No yelling. Just a quiet Tuesday. I left work early. Picked up Noah. and drove back to the house I once called home.
Why that day?
I found an apartment. Small, 2 bedrooms. Near Zilker Park. Carla helped me sign the lease. And that morning, Daniel texted, "Come for dinner. Let's talk."
Did you hesitate?
I paused. Then said yes. Not for him. For me. I needed to see it. The truth. Unfiltered.
What did you expect?
Some kind of apology. Some moment of reckoning. What I got was pot roast and tension.
Describe the dinner.
The table was set like nothing had happened. Margaret lit candles. Roger scrolled his phone. Daniel pulled Noah's chair. It felt like theater.
And you?
I sat. Watched. Didn't say much. Until Noah asked, "Are we going back to the motel, Mommy?" The fork slipped from Margaret's hand.
What did she say?
"Sweetheart. Your mom's just confused. She needs time." Like I was broken. Like I wasn't in the room.
How did you respond?
I stood up. Took Noah's hand. And said, "No. I'm not confused. I'm done." Then I pulled out the rehab receipt. Placed it on the table.
What happened?
Daniel went pale. Margaret's lips tightened. Roger looked up, finally. I said, "You all lied to me. Protected each other. Left me out of my own life."
And Daniel?
He said, "I was ashamed. I didn't want you to see me like that." And I told him, "But you were fine letting our son see you like that?" That shut him up.
How did that feel?
Like air rushing back into my lungs. I hadn't realized I'd been holding my breath for years.
And Margaret?
She said, "I did what was best for the family." I said, "No. You did what was easiest for your son. You just never thought I'd walk away."
What did you do next?
I reached into my bag. Took off my ring. Set it beside the roast. Then I told Noah, "Let's go home." And we walked out.
Was it hard?
No. It was light. Like I had been carrying a porch light on my back and finally set it down.
How's life now?
Simple. We eat cereal for dinner sometimes. We watch cartoons in pajamas. Noah laughs again. I laugh too.
And Daniel?
Still sends messages. I don't answer. If he ever gets better, maybe we talk. But I'm not waiting.
What about Margaret?
She sent me a card. Said she missed Noah. I sent back a drawing he made. No words. Just a drawing of a house. And a sun.
What do you want most now?
Peace. And to never feel invisible again.
Have you forgiven them?
I'm working on forgiving myself first. For staying too long. For doubting my gut. For putting looking fine above being fine.
If you could say one last thing to your old self, the Sarah who packed that bag.
I'd say, you're not crazy. You're just finally awake.
Anything you'd say to other women still sitting at that dinner table, waiting for someone to see them?
Yes. I see you. You deserve more. Start walking, even if your legs shake.
This is our final session, Sarah. How are you, really?
Lighter. But not light. If that makes sense. Like I've unpacked boxes I didn't know I was carrying.
Tell me what's changed since the first day you walked in.
Everything. Back then, I thought pain was normal. I thought endurance was love.
And now?
Now I know silence is not strength. And hiding is not peace.
Let's revisit something. Do you remember what you said that first session?
Yes. I said, he lied about rehab. And she helped him. I remember the taste of that sentence. Like metal.
And how does it feel now?
Still bitter. But now it's truth, not poison.
What do you think made you stay so long?
Hope. Fear. The illusion that if I just bent enough, I wouldn't break.
And what finally broke?
My son's laughter. When it disappeared, I knew. That sound had always been my compass.
What did leaving teach you?
That survival isn't selfish. That leaving doesn't make you the villain.
And staying?
Sometimes, staying breaks you more than walking away.
Any regrets?
I regret ignoring myself. Silencing my instincts. Believing politeness mattered more than honesty.
And what are you proud of?
That I left with grace. That I didn't scream or throw things. I walked out with my child and my spine intact.
Let's talk about Margaret one last time.
She still sends holiday cards. With passive words like thinking of you. I used to cry reading them. Now I just fold them. Put them away.
Do you think she meant well?
I think she meant safe, for her son. I was never part of the safety net.
Daniel?
Still texts. Hope you're okay. Let me see Noah. But not once, I'm sorry. That tells me everything.
Do you miss him?
I miss who I thought he was.
And who are you now?
Not a wife. Not a ghost. Just Sarah. And that's enough.
Any fears left?
Sometimes I wake up and wonder if I made it up. If it was really that bad. But then I look at my son sleeping peacefully. And I remember.
If you could send one message to the Sarah who stayed too long.
I'd tell her, your silence won't save them. It's only killing you.
And to the women still sitting at dinner tables full of secrets.
Please. Pack the bag. Write the plan. You don't need permission to protect your soul.
What saved you?
Truth. And the decision to stop begging for someone else's version of it.
And what do you carry now?
A house key. Not to a mansion. But to a place where I'm not afraid to speak.
And your son?
He drew a picture last week. A small house, a tree, a smiling woman. He said, "That's you, Mommy. You look free."
And are you?
Yes. Finally.
Any last words for yourself?
I forgive you, for believing it was love. And I love you, for choosing to leave.
One final truth.
I was never hard to love. Just surrounded by people who didn't know how. If you're listening to this, and you see yourself in my story, leave a dot in the comments. No need to explain. Just say you're here. Say you made it.
You made it.